Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today, I'm not here to motivate you. I'm not here to impress you. I'm here to be honest with you. This is not a story about success. This is a story about regret. A quiet regret, a heavy regret, a regret that stayed with me for years. There was a time in my life when everything could have been different. If I had just said two simple words, "I'm sorry." It sounds small, right? Just two words. So simple, so easy. But sometimes, the simplest words are the hardest to say. I remember that day clearly. The argument wasn't even that big. It wasn't about betrayal. It wasn't about something unforgivable. It was just anger. Just misunderstanding. Just emotions that were not controlled. Voices were raised. Words were said. Silence followed. And in that silence, my ego began to speak. It said, "You're not wrong. Why should you apologize? Let them say sorry first." And I listened. That was my mistake. Because sometimes, it's not about who is right. It's about who is mature enough to protect the relationship. Days passed. I expected a message. I expected a call. I expected them to come back. But they were probably waiting for the same thing. Weeks passed. The distance started feeling normal. The silence became comfortable. And slowly, two people who once meant everything to each other became strangers. And all of it, because no one wanted to say sorry first. Time is strange. When you're angry, you think you have forever. You think there's always tomorrow. You think, "I'll fix it later." But later is dangerous. Later turns into never. Months turned into years. Life moved on. New routines formed. New people came into our lives. But somewhere deep inside me, there was always a quiet voice whispering, "You could have fixed this." There were nights I replayed the argument in my mind. Not the angry parts, but the moment after. The moment when I could have chosen humility. I imagined picking up the phone. I imagined saying, "I'm sorry. I didn't mean to hurt you." Maybe the response would have been soft. Maybe it would have been emotional. Maybe we would have laughed at how small the issue was. Maybe everything would have changed. But imagination cannot change reality. Ego is expensive. It costs peace. It costs sleep. It costs relationships. And the worst part, you don't realize the cost until it's too late. We grow up thinking that saying sorry makes us weak. That apologizing means losing. That admitting fault lowers our value. But the truth is the opposite. It takes strength to apologize. It takes courage to accept you were wrong. It takes emotional maturity to value connection over pride. Anyone can argue. Anyone can shout. Anyone can walk away. But not everyone can swallow their ego and say, "I was wrong." I learned that lesson years too late. One day, I finally gathered the courage. I reached out. But life had already moved forward. Things had changed. People had changed. The connection was not the same. We spoke politely. We smiled gently. But something was missing. Time had done its damage. And in that moment, I realized something painful. An apology delayed is sometimes an opportunity lost. Not every door stays open forever. Some hearts close quietly. Not with anger. Not with drama. Just with acceptance. And when that happens, even a sincere apology cannot bring back what once was. That realization hurt more than the original argument. Because the argument was temporary. But the regret lasted years. If you're listening to me right now, I want you to think about someone. Someone you stopped talking to. Someone you argued with. Someone you miss but pretend you don't. Ask yourself honestly, is your ego worth the distance? Is being right more important than being at peace? Sometimes we wait for the perfect moment to apologize. But the perfect moment is now. Don't wait for a tragedy. Don't wait for a funeral. Don't wait for a day when it becomes impossible. Call them. Text them. Meet them. Even if your voice shakes. Even if your heart beats fast. Even if you don't know how they'll respond. Say it. "I'm sorry." You might save years of silence. You might save a beautiful bond. You might save yourself from carrying a regret that keeps you awake at night. Life is short. Time moves faster than we think. And relationships are fragile. We protect our phones with covers. We protect our money in banks. But we don't protect our relationships from our own ego. That is a mistake. I can't go back and change my past. I can't rewrite that moment. But I can share my lesson with you. If my regret can become your wisdom, then maybe my pain was not wasted. Remember this: pride feels powerful in the moment, but peace feels powerful for a lifetime. Winning an argument gives you satisfaction for a few minutes. Saving a relationship gives you comfort for years. Choose wisely, because sometimes, the difference between lifelong happiness and lifelong regret is just two simple words: I'm sorry. Thank you for listening calmly and patiently. If this message touched your heart, share it with someone who might need it today. And before you close this video, ask yourself, is there someone waiting for your apology? Don't let tomorrow steal what today can fix. See you in the next video.